Want to feel less overwhelmed. If there's one word that I reckon I've heard progressively more and more frequently over the last 20 years I've been in the fitness industry, it's overwhelm. Clearly always been a word, clearly always something I'd heard, but the last several years particularly, it's one that people express to me more and more frequently. And I get that. I get that on average we have more busy, challenging, full on and full lives than any point in history. I get that we have more distractions. But I also get, from 40 odd years of being a human, 20 odd years of helping people with this kind of thing, that we often approach things in a way that, shall we say, doesn't maximize how we experience it. It doesn't set us up for success. Because from my experience, overwhelm is most likely to occur when the vast majority of what we're attempting to do is just in our head. When we're trying to remember everything, when we're trying to just do everything in our head, that's an invitation to overwhelm. It's also an invitation to an amount of those things not happening, them getting forgotten, not approached in the best way, and therefore us feeling that going forward we're overwhelmed, not only because of the volume of stuff that is going on, but also because the experiences we've had in the past of us not doing that makes that feel even worse. So again, as much as possible out of our head into a trusted system is invaluable. I've mentioned many times before that everything I do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis is in my Google Calendar. Things are on repeat function, things are booked in, added in, sometimes months, maybe days, maybe even minutes in advance. But I've got as little as possible in my head to try and remember when to do, as much as possible in there. I also use task management software to remind me of certain things, to break down things that I'm doing. Again, whatever I can to get as much as possible out of my head. It doesn't mean that automatically there's nothing happening there, but if we can reduce the amount of things banging around our brain by 20, 30, 40%, that's going to have a knock-on benefit. Another important thing to remember as well is how we prioritize our things. Because ultimately, if we consider everything to be equally important, then nothing is important. If everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. If we make sure that we get done the most important things that move our life forward and have the highest value, the things that perhaps don't get done aren't going to affect us as much as if it was the other way around. So in short, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I get that, but I also get there's probably more you can do to reduce that. Take as much as possible out of your brain and into a trusted system that works for you to remind you at the opportune points. Break down and plan for things in the most effective way so that they involve minimal time, effort, and mental space, and prioritize the most important and valuable things.